Are you excited to host many more years of PTI?
Tony Kornheiser, I haven't hosted in years. You're looking at an AI simulation.
AI? Oh, see, I still think of Allen Iverson when I hear AI. No.
I don't look like Allen Iverson.
No, but I know you loved Allen Iverson more than you love artificial intelligence.
Yeah, I don't have any respect for artificial intelligence. I have enough problem having regular intelligence myself. Welcome to PTI, boys and girls. In today's episode, J.J. McCarthy gets it done. The Dodgers almost throw a no-hitter again, and Jeff Saturday joins us for 5 good minutes. But we begin today with your Chicago Bears, Wilbon.
Yeah.
They lost at home to Minnesota. They gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter, blowing a 17-6 lead. The Bears had 12 penalties in Ben Johnson's coaching debut, including 4 false starts in the first half. Caleb Williams, who started hot, finished with 8 for 19 and 87 yards in the second half. Wilbon, what happened? And did you see anything that gives you confidence in what lies ahead for your Bears?
Tony, having stayed awake angrily after this game until about 4:30 this morning, I've run the whole gamut of emotions and reactions here. In the first 3 to 4 hours, I was angry and thought they were just like headed for doom. The whole season was a waste of time. That's how I felt. And then listening to people, including Jeff Saturday, who we'll have later, my own brother Don, who said, wait a minute, they played really well for 3 quarters. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater, as we used to say. You got to pay some attention to that. It's Ben Johnson's debut. Caleb has to get rid of old habits first. Matt Eberflus, thank you. It takes a while and not preseason time to adjust to these things, the line to him, to each other, the false starts, all of it. Ben Johnson's play calling, which was soft late in the game to me. So there's still, Tony, they did some things well, but ultimately they did not knock out a rookie quarterback making his first start. And that still angers me when I get back to it. So I'm left thinking they'll get better. They will get better. I just don't know how soon. I think it's going to take a while.
Yeah, so, I mean, I don't look at a Bears game with the eyes that you look at it. I wasn't a fan for 60 years. I mean, I'm familiar with the franchise. I look at it with far less passion. I remember watching the first half and thinking that Caleb Williams was doing very well. I'm pretty sure he completed his first 10 passes. At that point, it looked to me that he was making the leap from rookie to second-year quarterback. The Bears at that point were comfortably ahead. When they got the pick 6, I thought they would win the game comfortably. But Caleb Williams did not have a good second half at all. He missed wide-open targets. He probably held the ball a little bit too long. So I watched with interest today, as you did as well, the morning shows. And I heard a sort of a consensus among football players, former football players, that Caleb Williams in the second half reverted to what he was doing last year.
Yep.
And so I thought to myself, well, wait a second. He was the number 1 overall pick in the draft. If you're telling me there's a book on Caleb Williams and last year wasn't good and he reverted to that this year, then I would think maybe you have to wonder, if you're a Bears fan, is he indeed the great quarterback going forward? But like you, Mike, I don't want to make a judgment after one game with a rookie coach with a brand new system. I just wonder if anybody's saying, you know, we could have taken Jaden Daniels.
No,
well, we could have done that.
We're not saying
and we didn't
that.
do that.
We're not saying that. He's got to be deprogrammed from the Eberflus era first, Tony, and then Ben Johnson. Let me just mention this, and you're familiar with both these people, because when you used to travel, you were there in their faces on Sunday after their games. I'll mention 2 coaches and their starts. A guy named Joseph Gibbs went 0-5 in his first year on the way to 4 Super Bowls, 3 of them victorious. And a guy named Bill Walsh went 0-7 on his way to 3 Super Bowls, and I don't think he lost any. So I know it's tough to put Ben Johnson in that category just yet. All I'm saying, it takes time is my point. It takes, and by the way, it's not just Caleb. The defense got shoved and hit in the mouth in the fourth quarter. They couldn't stop a nosebleed in the fourth quarter. So, you know, that group has a lot to worry about too, just as much as Caleb. Let's move quickly to J.J. McCarthy. At least he's a good son of Chicago. In his first ever NFL start after missing all of last season, playing in his hometown, the Vikings quarterback struggled in the first half, but down the stretch, particularly in the fourth quarter, McCarthy threw 2 touchdowns, ran for another, got the team, the Vikes, a win. Tony, what does last night tell you about McCarthy specifically, easy for me to say, and the Vikes?
Okay, so Minnesota was a good team last year. They were a playoff team last year. They must think that this kid is very special because they let their quarterback, Sam Darnold, walk. They let him walk. And they handed the team over to a kid who had never played a single down in the NFL. In the first half, his first half was no better than Caleb Williams' second half. It wasn't. But really late in the game, fourth quarter, he was great. As you say, passing touchdown, rushing touchdown. He won the game. Caleb Williams is at home in a division game with a big lead, and he couldn't close. J.J. McCarthy closed that game out. I watched him in Michigan, Mike. I was never really wowed.
Never.
I didn't think he was as good as Caleb Williams. I didn't think he was as good as Jaden Daniels. I didn't think he was as good as Bo Nix. I did not. But he doesn't lose games. He's now, it's only one game in the NFL, but college in the NFL, his record is 28-1. It's 64-3, I believe, if you add his high school time in the Chicago area. So that reminds me, Mike, honestly, of Jalen Hurts. Not a flashy arm, not great statistics, not anything where you go crazy, but he wins all the time. And wouldn't you rather have the W?
Tony, yes. And I tell you what else impressed me most about J.J. McCarthy was his calm. You throw that pick six, and a lot of guys fall apart at that point. And he didn't. The evidence is that he didn't. There was immediate evidence as he went up and down talking to players. It was great. Jeff Saturday said, I think this morning, that, a lot of times linemen, you don't want to see. No, Troy Aikman said this last night. Linemen don't want to see you after you have thrown a pick six telling them to calm down. It's going to be all right. So it was a great point. He was calm. There was a poise about him. He is clearly well coached and was well coached in his redshirt year. See, Caleb Williams didn't have that. So in a way, J.J. McCarthy's got an advantage. McCarthy was well coached last year in prep for this season. Caleb Williams starting over, and last night was his debut in many ways as well. But J.J. McCarthy's got an edge there. The Vikings weren't just good last year. The Vikings won 14 games last year.
Yeah, this is an important point to make. J.J. McCarthy didn't join a team that had just lost 12 games.
That's right.
He joined a good team. He joined a coach who is now, let me get the number, 27-9 in one-score games. That is a tremendous record. And he became, look, it could fall apart next week, but he became the first guy to, in his rookie debut at quarterback, win a game by being down 10 or more in the fourth quarter. The first guy to do that since Steve Young in 1984.
40 years
Come on, let's move.
Wow.
Yeah, let's move to baseball and the bizarre coincidence of Dodgers pitchers taking a no-hitter into the ninth inning in 2 games of their last 3. The first one, they lost with 2 outs in the ninth. They lost Yamamoto's no-hitter, then lost the game to Baltimore. Last night, Tyler Glasnow carried a no-hitter through 7. The bullpen held it through 8, then gave up a leadoff double in the ninth to Colorado, but they won the game. Wilbon, this maintains the Dodgers' 1-game divisional lead over the Padres, who won last night in 10. What, if anything, is truly at stake in the race for the NL West?
Well, Tony, it entirely depends on how you look at it. And because this involves my Cubbies, I have skin in the game. And when I'm angry because they've lost or the Bears have lost, I stay up and watch the Padres and Dodgers, even when the games are all the way west. And what is at stake here is the wild card team, the second place finisher, is likely to have to play 3 games at Wrigley in the playoffs to start the playoffs, while the division winner gets a bye. Now, I would like to see my team I'm okay with the wild card. They're not going to catch Milwaukee. And having 3 games at Wrigley in the bye is fine. Keep playing, because the team with the bye doesn't always get it done. But the Dodgers are equipped. I don't want my team there, because I don't think they're ready for the pressure of division winner expectations. You guys are supposed to move on. The Cubs aren't ready for that. The Dodgers are. I don't think the Padres are ready for that either. So therefore, I'd like to see the Padres in that 3-game series in Chicago if it goes 3. But I think the Dodgers should hold on to first place. That's what's at stake.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not so involved in that division race that it matters to me that much. The Dodgers are going to make the playoffs. The Padres are going to make the playoffs. The Giants may make the
It
playoffs
could,
from
yeah.
that same division. And what's great as a fan is that the Padres and the Dodgers absolutely hate each other. And that's good. But, the Padres are a really good team. I just want to step back and say this one thing to you. Yamamoto and Glasnow gave up 1 hit in 15 2/3 innings. Is that something I could interest you in?
Dodger-like.
Because the Dodgers can hit. Everybody knows the Dodgers can hit. They're second in runs in the National League to the Brewers. They're first in OPS. They're first in home runs. But what if they can pitch? Mike, I think if they're starting pitching, and it would include those two, it would include Ohtani, and it would include Clayton Kershaw. If they pitch, I think they repeat as World Series champions. I do.
Well, Tony, they've had a lot of injuries, and it's interesting to see if people can hold up all year. And I do watch the Dodgers closely, and I love that division, largely because of what you just talked about. The Dodgers and Padres hate each other, and it is theater.
Yes.
Now, I don't want to see them both advance. I want to see one of them go out in the first round, obviously. But, Tony, it's fascinating. There is something at stake, and the approach, what they have to do, the wild card team, makes it even more fascinating to see if they will advance. It really does.
All right, let's take a break. Coming up, is spitting on a football field more common than we think? We will ask Jeff Saturday about that.
We'll also ask him why Penei Sewell struggled so much against Micah Parsons. Because both of them are going to the Hall of Fame. That's why.
All right, I made a mistake. The Steve Young Game of our great friend, ESPN NFL analyst, and our pal Jeff Saturday. Let's start with this. Lions right tackle Penei Sewell struggled against Micah Parsons. What did you see there, and is there anything you would recommend to Sewell for the next matchup?
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest. You don't see Sewell struggle very often. I mean, he's one of the best right tackles in the game. I will tell you, the situation they were in, being down significantly, always makes it more difficult. And now you got a fresh Micah Parsons with a back injury that you're going to have to go face. Makes it hard. But when you're where you are with Detroit and having the new coaching staff and all that, you can't get beat inside, right? If you're going to get beat, at least make them run the hump, make them chase your quarterback, getting those flashes and making Goff reset his feet. Cost him 1 interception, just a tough day to Sewell. He'll rebound next time they play.
All right, I'm going to try to go to last night's game without expletives. That holding call, Jeff, against Darnell Wright was a game changer in many ways. I am still angry about this. Do I have reason to be?
Absolutely. You try to make me cuss too, because it was a terrible call. He traps him down, open hand, puts his face in the dirt. We're all taught as offensive linemen, when a guy's trying to drive into you, especially on the outside, if he's trying to just keep driving you, you just trap him down. Use his force and his weight against him. He's unbalanced, so use that to your advantage. And a referee clearly sees there was no full yank. He just basically trapped him. And we all use that technique. And again, it finishes the bull rush quite a bit. I was disappointed in the call. I think, Aikman agreed. We all agree.
Yes.
And it was a game changer. And I'll say this about it. The problem for me was the Bears allowed that play to snowball into Caleb making a dumb play on, on the intentional grounding, right? Then Santos misses the field. So all of that transpired at the very end of the third quarter. But you can't let one bad play turn into a bunch of bad ones. You know what I mean? And that's kind of what they did.
Well, let's get to a bunch of bad ones. 4 false start penalties. This is the same garbage we watched in the Eberflus era and probably in the Nagy era before that. Jeff, you did this. You lined up thousands of snaps in your life. Why do the Bears, particularly since we're talking about them, have so many false start penalties even now under a new coach?
I honestly have no idea. And I'll be honest with you, I remember Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator for us for so many years there in Indianapolis, and a Hall of Famer. He used to tell us, men, if you can't get the snap count right, we're going to go on one. And everybody in the business is going to know when you're going to go. And they'll have the same advantage that you think you carry. It is a weapon, and you need to weaponize the snap count. And if you're too dumb to figure out the snap count, we need to find somebody else. And it really is that simple. I mean, I hate to say it that way. This isn't like somewhere on the road where you can't hear anything. You're at home. You have everything going in your favor. You have to find focus, listen to that snap count, and then tell guys around you, hey, let's use it as a weapon to get them off sides. Make them slow down the rush. Use it for our advantage when we're run blocking. But very disappointing. And again, I know part of it is early in the season, but that's day one stuff. Like, get the snap count handled. Really disappointed in that. Because again, it puts you behind the chains with a quarterback and a new play caller. It's tough to overcome.
We have missed you. You are excited. This is
Jeff
really
gets
good.
right
We'll get
to it.
out of here on
Gets
this.
right to it.
We got, all right, so we've had spitting ejections in the pros and in college the last few days. These spits were blatant. Everybody saw them replayed 30 times. Does this seem way out of line to you, or does spitting go on under the radar quite frequently?
No, it's disgusting, and it does not go under the radar. I don't understand it. I mean, honest to God, like, first of all, I would never spit on somebody else, but how do people keep their head in that situation? Like, it leads to all kinds of nonsense. That's just it's way out of bounds for what we do for a living, right? We're all there to perform for our team, to take money home for our families, all of those things. You're getting so bent out of shape that you're gonna go spit on another human makes absolutely no sense. And so, yeah, I got no tolerance for it. There's no like, oh, well, he should have done. No one should be doing it. I'm all for ejections the minute you see it. And honestly, I don't think I ever remember it happening except Romanowski like years and years
God, I
ago
remember that.
when I was playing.
Yeah.
But after that, I literally hadn't heard of that since until week 1 of the NFL season. So terrible look for our game. Guys need to control it and end it.
Thank you, Jeff. Great pleasure
Jeff
to have you
Saturday,
back. Thank you
voice
so
of
much. Thank
reason,
you.
back on the show. Great.
Love being back with you fellas. Fired up for this season.
Let's take one last break. Still to come, good news for the latest variation of the NFL kickoff.
And the U.S. men's soccer team gets another shot to get it together tonight.
You know, Mike, I'm surprised. I would have thought that there was a lot more spitting and we just didn't know about it. So I'm surprised to
I'm
hear what
glad
Jeff
to
said,
hear that.
that he's
And
never seen it.
I hope it's
Yeah.
not trending. I don't want to see spitting trending. That would be.
No.
Then you got to suspend people for